Welcome everyone. Today I am going to talk on historical perspective on computers and their application to biology in first half as well in second half operating systems of computer. So start with historical perspective on computers and their application to biology. The objective of first half is to discuss the basics of computer, its historical perspective and generations. Second is classification, hardware components and benefits of computer. Third is computer application in biology. So what is computer? A computer is an electronic device that manipulates information or data. It has the ability to store, retrieve and process data. Computer can be used to type documents, handle spreadsheets, accounting, database management and presentations, play games, send email, browse the web and many more. A computer consists of at least one processing element, typically a central processing unit that is CPU and some form of memory. The processing element carries out arithmetic and logic operations, and a sequencing and control unit can change the order of operations in response to stored information. Computers work through an interactions of hardware and software. The most important piece of hardware is a tiny rectangular chip inside your computer called the central processing unit as a CPU or microprocessor. Hardware items such as monitor, keyboard, mouse, printer and other components are often called hardware devices. Let us see a brief history of computer. Computers are machines that make things easier for humans. Charles Babbage is credited with the idea that machines could do computations. The earliest form of computers were mechanical. Later the machines began to utilize electricity. The Hollerith tabulator was used in 1890s census. It also utilized punch cards, but the connection were electrically. IBM made a line of business machines that worked with information stored on a punch cards. As things move forward, storage became better using magnetic tape as well as magnetic coated discs. Modern computers are nearly totally electronic. The data are created, handled and stored electronically. Disks are less than 1 inch in size and are getting smaller, while permitting more data storage. Permanent programs are stored on CD-ROMs and are made into permanent silicon chips. One of the very first electronic computers was designed by Zeus in Germany in the 1930s. It did the switching functions using telephone relay switches. The ENIAC computer was built in the mid-1940s. It did the switching task using vacuum tubes, making it 1000 times faster than the Zeus machine. The transistor was invented in the late 1940s. Transistors computers were cheaper and faster. Finally, the microprocessor was invented in the 1950s. Integrated circuit was invented in 1958 by Jack Clare Kilby. It permitted thousands of transistors to be etched on a fine chip of silicon. In the history of computer, the generations of computer are classified into 5 general purpose computing devices. Each generation is defined by a significant technological development that changes fundamentally how computers are operate, leading to more compact, less expensive but more powerful, efficient and robust machines. Coming to first generation, during 1940s to 1956. These first generation computers used vacuum tubes as a circuit and a magnetic drums for a memory and were often enormous in size. They were very expensive to operate, and in addition to using a great deal of electricity and generated a lot of heat. These early computers used machine language. These computers were limited to solving one problem at a time. The UNIVAC and ENIAC computers are examples of first generation computing device first used in the US Census Bureau in 1951. During 1956 to 1963, the second generation computers, the replacement of vacuum tubes by transistors, saw an advent of the second generation computing. Although first invented in 1947, transistors weren't used significantly in computers until the end of 1950s. They were a big improvement over the vacuum tube, despite still subjecting computers to damaging levels of heat. However, they were usually superior to the vacuum tubes, making computers smaller, faster, cheaper, and less heavy on electricity use. They still rely on a punch card for input as well as printouts. It used assembly languages which allowed programmers to specify instruction in words. Transistor-driven machines were the first computers to store instruction into their memories, moving from magnetic drum to magnetic core technology. The early versions of these machines were developed for the atomic energy industry. The third generation computing during 1964 to 1971 contained integrated circuits, that is IC. The development of the integrated circuits was the hallmark of the third generation computers. Transistors were miniaturized and placed on silicon chips called semiconductors, which drastically increased the speed and efficiency of a computers. Instead of punch cards and printouts, users interacted with the third generation computers through keyboards and monitors as well as interfaced with an operating system, which allowed the device to run many different applications at one time with a central program that monitored the memory. Computers for the first time became accessible to a mass audience because they were smaller and cheaper than their predecessors. The fourth generation between 1972 to 2010 contained microprocessors. The microprocessor brought the fourth generation of computers as thousands of integrated circuits were built onto a single silicon chip. The Intel 4004 chip, developed in 1971, located all the components of the computer from the central processing unit and memory to input as well as output controls on a single chip. In 1981, IBM introduced its first computer for the home users, and in 1984, Apple introduced the Macintosh, that is Mac. Microprocessors also moved out of the realm of desktop computers and into many areas of life as more and more everyday products begin to use microprocessors. Other major advances during this period have been a graphical user interface, that is GUI, the mouse, and more recently the astounding advances in laptop capability and handheld devices. The fifth generation as an artificial intelligence come in 2010. Fifth generation computing devices based on artificial intelligence and are still in development. Though there are some applications such as voice recognitions that are being used today. The use of parallel processing and superconductors is helping to make artificial intelligence a reality. Now we will discuss the classification of computer. Computers can generally be classified by size and power as follows, though there is a considerable overlap. First is personal computer. A personal computer is small single user computer based on a microprocessor. It has a keyboard for entering data, a monitor for displaying information, and a storage device for saving data. Second is workstation, a powerful single user computer. It has a more powerful microprocessor and a higher quality monitor. Third is mini computers. Mini computers are multi-user computers capable of supporting from 10 to 100 of users simultaneously. Fourth is mainframe, a powerful multi-user computer capable of supporting many hundreds or thousands of users simultaneously. Fifth, supercomputer, a supercomputer, an extremely fast computer that can perform hundreds of millions of instructions per second. Now we will see the various hardware components of computers. All general purpose computers require the following hardware components. The first is memory. Enables a computer to store at least temporarily data and programs. Mass storage device. A mass storage device allows a computer to permanently retain large amounts of data. Common mass storage devices include disk drives and tape drives. Input device. Usually a keyboard and mouse. The input device is the conduit through which data and instructions enter a computer. Output device. A display screen, printer, or other device that lets you see what the computer has accomplished. Central Processing Unit, that is CPU, the heart of the computer. This is the component that actually executes instructions. Now we will discuss the benefits of computer. Computers make it possible to receive, supply and error-free process of a large volumes of data at a very high speed. Through computer, message or anything written or photograph can reach any part of the world using internet facilities. Through video conferencing, people can not only see each other but also talk with anybody living in any part of the world. Using a computer, one can remain connected to the world through the internet. Internet is a network of computers that communicate via the internet protocol SHUT. Computer makes online education easy, and e-learning is one of the most flexible and convenient form of learning nowadays. Computer makes the laboratories work simply, speedy and accurate. Coming to computer application in biology. The birth of computational biology was showed in the end of the 70s when computers became cheaper, easily available and simpler to use, so that some biology labs decide to adopt them mainly for storing and managing genomic data. Computational biology and bioinformatics are mainly concerned with the problems involving data emerging from within the cells of living beings. Bioinformatics is the application of a computer technology to the management of biological information. Bioinformatics is a subset of larger general trend to apply systematic and quantitative methods to the analysis of biological systems, which is in turn a subset of computational science in general. Bioinformatics may be primarily about data storage and genome sequence analysis, but computational approaches are already in use across the whole spectrum of biological research. There are certain fields of computer application required for bioinformaticians are knowledge of a programming languages such as C or C++ and scripting languages such as Perl or Python. Let us see the role of computers in modern biology. Collecting and processing signals detected by laboratory equipment such as DNA sequencers, CCD devices, spectrophotometers and just about any other device that can be connected to a computer via an analog to digital converter. Tracking samples and managing experiments in industrial style laboratories. storing data in public databases, and more importantly, public access to the databases via a sophisticated web searches and deposition mechanisms such as NCBI, home of GenBank, PubMed and other public databases, is the premier example of the kind of information services that can be built onto a public biological database. Extracting patterns and the rules from the large data collections and using these observed patterns to characterize and predict features in new data. This is the core of bioinformatics, developing tools which can recognize pattern matches and feature signatures within an otherwise incredible data set. Annotation using automatic computational methods to assign functional meaning to uncharacterized data and to create informative links between different data collections. For example, many annotation in systems use automated sequence comparison searches to identify potential genes in a new genome data. Coming to second half, we will discuss various operating systems. So, the definition of the operating system, types, function and services, as well as various commands used to execute the operating systems. Let's start with introduction. An operating system means OS is a software that creates a relation between the user, software and hardware. It is an interactive interface of computer used for management of computer hardware and its applications. The OS is the first software to be loaded when a computer starts up. The entire application programs are loaded after the OS. Whenever an application needs information, it requests the OS, which in turn queries the system clock on the motherboard. User interacts with the computer through the OS, then OS interprets the inputs given by a user through the keyboard, mouse or other input device and takes appropriate actions. The purpose of an operating system is to provide an environment in which a user can execute programs in a convenient and efficient manner. So, what is operating system? An operating system, that is OS, is a program that controls the executions of application programs and acts as an interface between the users of a computer and the computer hardware. An operating system is concerned with the allocation of resources and services such as memory, processors, devices and information. The operating system correspondingly includes programs to manage these resources such as traffic control, a scheduler, memory management, input and output programs and a file system. Let's see the history of OS. Operating systems have been evolving through the years as seen in the table. The first generation during the year 1945 to 1505, it contained an electronic device as a vacuum tubes. The type of OS and device is plug boards. The second generation during 1955 to 65 contains transistors. The types of OS and devices is batch system. In between year 1965 to 1980, the third generation is come. It contains integrated circuits, that is IC. The OS and devices is multiple programming. The fourth generation, since 1980, large scale intelligence as an electronic device used. Now we will see the functions of operating system. Operating system performs three main functions. First is conveniency. An OS makes a computer more convenient to use. Second is efficiency. An OS allows the computer system resources to be used in an efficient manner. Third is ability to evolve. An OS should be constructed in such a way as to permit the effective development, testing and introduction of new system functions without interfering with a service at the same time. Coming to operating system services. An operating system provides services to programs and to the users of those programs. It provided by one environment for the executions of programs. The services provided by one operating system is different than the other operating system. Operating system makes the programming task easier. The common services provided by operating systems are program execution, input-output operation, file system manipulation, communications and error detection. Let's start with program executions. Operating system loads a program into a memory and executes the program. The program must be able to end its execution either normally or abnormally. Second is input-output operations. It means any file or any specific input-output device. Program may require any input or output device while running. So, operating system must provide the required input and output. The third is file system manipulation. Program needs to read a file or write a file. The operating system gives the permission to the program for operation on a file. Fourth is communication. Data transfer between two processes is required for some time. The both processes are on one computer or on different computer but connected through a computer network. Communication may be implemented by two methods. First is shared memory and the second is message passing. The fifth is error detection. Error may occur in CPU, that is control processing unit, in input or output devices or in the memory hardware. The operating system constantly needs to be aware of possible errors. It should take the appropriate action to ensure correct and consistent computing. Next is components of OS. Modern operating systems share the goal of supporting the system components. The system components are process management, main memory management, file management, secondary storage management, input-output system management, networking, command interpreter system, protection system. Now we will discuss various types of operating system. An operating system can be of three types. First is single user, such as MS-DOS, MS-Win 95 to 98 and WinMe. Second is multi-users like Unix, Linux and Xenix. The third is network such as Novell Network, Win 98, Win 2000 to 2003 and Win 2007 to 2008. DOS, that is Disk Operating System, and Windows directory path uses a backslash separator, whereas Unix and Linux and the internet URLs, that is Universal Resource Locators, all uses a forward slash. Coming to MS-DOS. MS-DOS stands for Microsoft Disk Operating System. Tim Peterson developed this operating system in 1980. The IBM International Business Machine released first PC, that is personal computer, in 1981 that used MS-DOS version 1.0. It has three essential files and many command files. These essential files are io.sys, msdos.sys and command.com. It has three essential files and many command files. These essential files are io.sys, msdos.sys and command.com. These files are called system files of MS-DOS. The DOS is a boss in real sense because in the age of Windows operating system, hardware utilities are dependent on the DOS. The hearts of MS-DOS are IO.sys. This let DOS communicate with the hardware through the BIOS, that is basic input or output system. MS-DOS.sys, this is a DOS kernel. Command.com, this is where all the DOS commands are stored and interpreted. Config.sys, hardware configuration information is stored here. AutoExe.bat, all the programs that are supposed to run at startups are called here. DOS gives drive letters to each disk drive, such as C is displayed for a hard disk drive and A for floppy and so on. Now we will see DOS commands. There are two types of DOS commands, internal and external. The internal command of DOS is packed in a command interpreter, that is command.com file. These commands became active at MS-DOS prompt. These commands are limited in numbers. Example is copy, con, cls, copy, date, del, nech, tresult, ipconfig and so on. The external commands are not present in command interpreter. It is called from a data stores of any other folders. These commands have exe or com extensions. Example xcopy.exe, msd.exe, move.exe, mem.exe, help.com, etc. We cannot use exe or com as a file extensions, and commands are also not used as a file name. As observed in the table, we can say coming to Windows Microsoft. Windows Microsoft is an operating system extension of MS-DOS with user-friendly graphical user interface, that is GUI, and several facilities to control memory, hardware, text, graphics, audio, video, internet connection, etc. It is a series of graphical interface operating systems developed, marketed and sold by Microsoft. Microsoft Windows came into market on November 20, 1985 to dominate the world's personal computer market, overtaking Mac OS, which had been introduced in 1984. The most recent versions of Windows for personal computers, smartphones, several computers and embedded devices are Windows 8.1, Windows Phone 8.1, Windows Server 2012 R2 and Windows Embedded 8. The following are the flavors of Windows operating system, such as Windows 1.0 to 2.0, Windows 3.0 to 3.1, Windows 95, Windows 98, Windows ME, that is Millennium Edition, Windows NT 3.1 to 4.0, Windows 2000, Windows XP, Windows Vista, Windows 7. The latest operating system from Microsoft Corporation, that is Windows 8, released in 2012. Windows 8 is a completely redesigned operating system developed from the ground up with touchscreen use in mind, as well as near instant on capabilities that enable a Windows 8 PC to load and start up in a matter of seconds rather than in minutes. Windows 8 will replace the more traditional Microsoft Windows OS look and feel with a new Metro design system interface that first debuted in the Windows Phone 7 mobile operating system. Microsoft Windows have a various advantages such as ease of use, available software, backwards compatibility, support for new hardware, plug and play, games and compatibility with MS driven websites. Coming to Unix. The Unix is a powerful, flexible, multi-user operating system with GUI and several utilities. Ken Thompson and Dennis Ritchie wrote a C compiler under Unix in 1969 at Bell Labs. In 1973, Thompson and Ritchie rewrote the Unix kernel using C language. It is based on Multics operating system. Its first uses was Bell Patent Department, Xenix, Vanix, Micronix, Linux, Unixware 7, etc. are versions of Unix operating system. The Unix operating system is made up from three parts. First is kernel. It is a hub of operating system dedicated for memory management, file management and communication within system. Second is shell. It is an interface between kernel and users. When a user logs in and login program matches the username and password and then starts shell. The shell is a command line interpreter, that is CLI of Unix. Third is program or command. Program or command is used to accomplish specific tasks. When one command is terminated, the shell displays prompt percentage to accept next command for execution. Advantages of Unix operating system includes Unix is more flexible and can be installed on many different types of machines, including mainframe computers, supercomputers and microcomputers. Unix is more stable and does not go down as often as Windows does, therefore requires less administrations and maintenance. Unix has greater built-in security and permissions features than Windows. Unix possesses much greater processing power than Windows. Unix is the leader in serving the web. About 90% of the internet services relies on Unix operating systems, running Apache, the world's most widely used web server. Let us summarize the topic. In this topic, we discuss about operating system which acts as an intermediary between the users of a computer and computer hardware. The purpose of an operating system is to provide an environment in which a user can execute programs in a convenient and efficient manner. DOS systems utilizes a command line interface. A DOS system includes several programs as system utilities and provides additional commands that don't correspond to programs. Windows series are excellent products of Microsoft, although some technology of Windows is not as good as Unix. They are still of the best operating systems running on PCs. Computers are an integral part of everyday life nowadays and an indispensable tool for research not only in biology but all fields of sciences. Most people believe that it can change the face of biology. This unit gave an overview of computer and explained its application in major fields of biology that uses computational techniques. We also discussed how the computer plays a major role in different fields of biology such as bioinformatics, computational biology, etc. Thank you.